this is kind of how I constructed the van shelving system inside here. So this material here is some 1/4 inch. You can kind of see here. I got a battery of insulation. I stuffed it in all these little nooks and crannies back here, and then at about this height on up is open. And I just got batting insulation there. It helps cut down on the noise. I did use some like 2x2s or small pieces of plywood behind here to kind of give it some rigid structure along those lines. Nothing crazy, but that way it's at least it gives it some more structure to hold everything back and forth so it doesn't do this while you're moving. Then the next step was I put these in. You can use 2x4s or 2x3s. In JD's van, we used 2x3s. We did 2x4s on this one because this was the very first prototype per se. But you put those in at the bottom. Make sure you've got 42 or up to 48 inches at the bottom. So that way you've got room for a pallet if you needed to move a pallet here on the back end of the van. Then the next step beyond that, you put these in at the heights you want to use your shelves. This one, I made sure to, it just kind of varies. You just want to make sure they're deep enough to hold stuff. I mean, I could have had these a lot closer. I felt that 3 shelves on this side was fine. And I've got 3 shelves on this side over here. It just makes it easier. But then I actually put glue behind these and then screwed those on. And then, so you've got your verticals and you've got those. These, I actually, if you take and kind of look, I notched them around the 2x. And then those are laterally all the way full length down. And that gives you some lateral strength this way. And then to hold the front is these, and I ripped them at whatever dimension, but I'll show you here in just a second. Ended up being about 5 inches. I figured that was a good height to keep materials and parts and things inside the bin. But then also by not putting in so over here, I've got some vertical separators. Kind of helps keep stuff in the bin, but at the same time, it limits your ability to use that full length shelf. So like right here, this is actually a full 12-foot stick of base trim that we're using up here in Minnesota. I've got a full length pieces of flange. I mean, you could put 2x4s, all that kind of full length long stuff over there on the side on, say, these lower 2 shelves, and then keep the upper shelves for materials and product and things. And then in order to nail them together, I've used either finish nails or screws. Finish nails seem to work good. You just got to make sure everything is nice and lined up. I mean, you can kind of see there, we use some crown headed staples on this one. And you'll get some that'll pop out here and there, but you put a little bead of PL on all those joints, and then you just start nailing stuff in. I mean, it's solid. That's the gist of it. I mean, like you see here, I got an angle bracket. I've actually had to mix my own color match silicone on the job site because sometimes I'm not getting that. I have a place I can mount a drill, use a ratchet strap and whatever, and actually mix my color match here on site. And by doing it this way, you've actually got room for 2 full sides of 8-foot length. So that way you've got plenty of material space to get things in there. And then by doing over here, you kind of see my sloppy shelf over here, but I don't know if you guys are going to have doors on both sides or doors on one side, but then you've actually got this quick access space here. You need to come up and grab some tools. You can grab what you need. Keep the stuff that you're going to use on a regular basis. You got your acetone, drills, grinders, stuff like that. Here on the front, at least on the passenger side, I did put a piece of bracing. One, this is bracing, but two, it's also material just to kind of end cap that, so that way I can't put anything longer than 8 foot in there, so it doesn't encroach on the passenger space. You know, maybe leave one side open and then one side closed, because you can see I've got that base trim running over there on the passenger, or on the driver's side. Yeah, it sucks for me to be, you know, whoever is driving, but it's not that big a deal. I mean, that's a full 12-foot length piece of material. Keeps it off the floor, so you can actually keep walking around it. If I have any other ideas or things to supplement that here in a little bit, I will add those as well. Thank you.